As we get older, certain tasks that used to bring us joy, like gardening, can start to feel more like a chore than a pleasure. The constant bending, kneeling, and lifting can really take a toll on our bodies. But gardening is something that many of us don't want to give up. It brings us peace, a connection to nature, and a sense of accomplishment. The good news is, there's a way to make gardening much easier and still get all the benefits, without straining your body. Welcome to Age Gracefully After 70. In this video, we'll explore 5 simple raised bed gardening hacks that will transform your gardening experience and make it easier than ever. Whether you're a seasoned gardener or just starting, these tips will help you enjoy your time in the garden without the aches and pains. So, let's dive right into the first hack. The first hack, elevated garden beds to save your back. If you've ever spent hours kneeling down in the dirt, weeding and planting, you know how tough it can be on your knees and back. I remember one summer, after spending hours bending over to plant flowers in the garden, I woke up the next morning feeling like I had been run over by a truck. My back was sore, and my knees felt like they were barely holding up. It wasn't just the pain, it was the frustration of knowing that I loved gardening, but my body was no longer cooperating. That's when I made the switch to raised garden beds, and it changed everything. By elevating the garden, I could stand upright, reaching the plants without having to bend down at all. It's not just about comfort, it's about protecting your body. Raised beds are a game changer for people who want to garden without causing strain. These raised garden beds come in many sizes and heights, but the key is finding one that suits your needs. You want it to be high enough that you can tend to it without having to stoop. For many seniors, raised beds that are around waist height work wonders. There's less pressure on your joints, and you can tend to your plants easily, whether you're weeding, planting, or harvesting. Not only do they help prevent injury, but raised beds also allow for better soil drainage and air circulation, meaning your plants will thrive more. This leads to healthier and more vibrant plants, without all the hassle. And here's the best part, you don't have to spend a fortune. You can buy pre-made raised beds, or you can make your own using materials like wood, bricks, or even cinder blocks. The possibilities are endless, and you'll be able to enjoy gardening in a way that feels good to you. Hack number 2, use lightweight, self-watering containers. When I first started gardening in raised beds, I made another common mistake, overestimating how much time I had for watering. The constant back and forth with the hose or watering can become a bit too much, especially on those hot summer days. It wasn't just the time, it was the effort involved. Watering plants can be exhausting, especially if you have to do it multiple times a day. That's when I discovered self-watering containers, and let me tell you, they have been a game changer. These containers are designed to keep your plants hydrated without constant attention. They have a built-in reservoir at the bottom that holds water, and the plants draw it up as they need it. This means fewer trips to the garden to water, and no more worrying about whether your plants are getting enough moisture. Plus, the soil stays consistently moist, which is great for preventing drought stress in your plants. But the real beauty of these containers is how light they are. Many of us remember the days when we could carry heavy watering cans or buckets with ease, but that's not always the case anymore. Self-watering containers are incredibly lightweight, and you don't have to worry about heavy lifting every time you need to water. In fact, using these containers can actually save you time and energy in the long run. So, if you want a low-maintenance gardening hack that reduces your physical effort, this one's for you. Just set them up, fill the reservoir, and let the system take care of the rest. Hack number 3, mulching to reduce weeding and maintain moisture. When I think back to the early days of gardening, one of the biggest frustrations was weeding. It seemed like every time I went outside, there was a new crop of weeds to pull, and it never seemed to end. The more I pulled, the more they came back, until I was spending more time weeding than actually enjoying my garden. But then I learned about the magic of mulching, and everything changed. Mulch, whether it's made from straw, wood chips, or even grass clippings, works wonders for your garden. It helps to smother weeds, which means you won't have to spend hours on your knees pulling them out. And that's not all. Mulch also helps to retain moisture in the soil, meaning your plants will stay hydrated for longer, without you needing to water as frequently. I remember one summer, after spreading a thick layer of mulch around my vegetable garden, I was amazed at how much less I had to tend to it. Weeds were virtually non-existent, and I was able to relax knowing that the mulch was doing all the hard work. Not to mention, it kept the soil temperature more consistent, which is important for the health of your plants. For those of us who aren't as mobile as we once were, mulching can be a lifesaver. It reduces the need for bending down to weed, saves water, and helps your plants grow stronger. And it's incredibly easy to apply. Just spread a layer of mulch around your plants, and let nature do the rest. It's a simple, effective way to make your garden much more manageable. Hack number 4, raised bed covers to protect your plants and ease maintenance. If you've ever found yourself battling against unpredictable weather or pesky animals ruining your garden, you know how discouraging it can be. I remember one season, just as my tomatoes were starting to ripen, I went out one morning to find that an entire crop had been eaten by birds. It was heartbreaking, and it felt like all my hard work had been for nothing. That's when I discovered raised bed covers. These simple, yet incredibly effective, covers have been a game changer for me. Not only do they protect your plants from animals, but they also help shield them from harsh weather conditions, such as heavy rain or frost, which can be especially tricky as we age and might not always be able to go outside quickly to tend to our gardens. Raised bed covers come in many different forms. Some are made from mesh or netting to keep animals like birds, rabbits, or even deer away. Others are made of clear plastic or fabric, which allows sunlight in while protecting your plants from the elements. You can easily set them up over your raised bed garden, creating a little greenhouse effect that encourages faster growth and protects your plants from the cold. For anyone with limited mobility or physical strength, these covers make gardening so much easier. Not only are you reducing the time spent on maintenance, but you're also protecting your plants from damage that could set you back weeks. And when you don't have to worry about animals nibbling on your vegetables or flowers, you'll find yourself enjoying the garden much more. Hack number 5, use gardening tools with long handles for easy reaching. When we're young, it's easy to bend down, squat, or kneel for long periods while working in the garden. But as we get older, it can become increasingly difficult, and our bodies start to protest the strain. That's why investing in tools with long handles is one of the smartest things you can do for your gardening. I'll never forget the first time I used a long-handled rake in my garden. I was amazed at how much easier it made my tasks. No more bending down to rake leaves or weeds, I could stay upright and still get the job done. It felt like I had regained some of the energy and agility I thought I'd lost. Long-handled tools come in various styles, including hoes, trowels, and weeders, and they can help you accomplish almost every gardening task without straining your back or knees. The best part? Many of these tools are adjustable, so you can find the perfect length for your comfort level. Whether you're pulling weeds, turning soil, or harvesting your vegetables, these tools give you the ability to do it all without breaking a sweat. And for seniors, they're an absolute game changer. If gardening has ever felt like a struggle because of physical limitations, these tools are a must-have. They allow you to keep doing what you love, without feeling worn out or sore afterward. Plus, they make your gardening experience more enjoyable and efficient. As we come to the final part of our journey to easier, more enjoyable gardening, I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to get out there and try these simple hacks. Gardening doesn't have to be hard on your body. In fact, with just a few changes, it can be the peaceful, fulfilling hobby it was always meant to be. Now, we're about to wrap up with the final hack because you stayed till this moment, one that will help keep your garden thriving with minimal effort, and make your gardening experience even more enjoyable. Hack number 6, companion planting to maximize space and minimize effort. Now, this one might sound a little different, but trust me, it's a game changer. Companion planting is all about pairing plants together that benefit each other, whether it's by repelling pests, improving growth, or even supporting each other in some way. For example, Planting basil next to tomatoes can improve the flavor of your tomatoes while keeping pests away. Or, planting marigolds around your garden can help protect your vegetables from harmful insects. I remember trying this out one year when I planted a small vegetable garden. At first, I wasn't sure what to expect, but after reading up on companion planting, I gave it a try. To my surprise, I noticed a real difference in the health and productivity of my plants. Not only did the tomatoes grow stronger and healthier, but I also found that I had to spend less time worrying about pests and other garden problems. Companion planting is particularly useful for raised bed gardening, where space can be limited. By carefully choosing plants that complement each other, you can grow more in a smaller area, which is great for seniors who might not want to manage a massive garden. Plus, it takes much of the guesswork out of gardening because you're working with nature rather than against it. It's not just about making the garden more productive, it's about making it more manageable. When you have the right plants working together, you'll spend less time battling pests, diseases, and other garden challenges. Instead, you'll be able to enjoy watching your plants thrive with far less effort. Now that you have these 6 raised bed gardening hacks in your gardening toolkit, it's time to put them into action. Whether it's raised beds, mulching, or companion planting, each of these tips has one thing in common: they make gardening easier, more efficient, and most importantly, more enjoyable. Remember, it's never too late to get started. Gardening has so many benefits, not just for your body but for your mind and spirit too. It's a way to connect with nature, get some fresh air, and enjoy a sense of accomplishment as you watch your plants grow. And the best part? You can do it all at your own pace, without pushing yourself too hard. So, if you've been thinking about trying out some of these ideas, now is the perfect time to start. Don't let age stop you from enjoying one of life's simplest pleasures. Whether you've been gardening for years or you're just starting, these tips can help you do it better, easier, and with more joy. I want to leave you with this. Gardening isn't just about growing plants, it's about growing your happiness, your sense of peace, and your connection to the world around you. And with these hacks, you can continue to enjoy all the wonderful things that gardening has to offer, no matter where you are in life. I hope you found these gardening tips helpful and inspiring. If you're ready to transform your gardening experience, try these hacks and see for yourself how much easier and more enjoyable gardening can be. And if you've already been gardening for a while, let us know in the comments how these tips work for you. I'd love to hear about your experiences. If you like this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to Age Gracefully After 70 for more tips and tricks to help you live your best life. We've got plenty more videos on how to make your life easier and more enjoyable, so stick around. Remember, no matter your age, you can always enjoy the simple joys of life. Here's to living your best life in the garden, and beyond. Thank you for watching, and happy gardening.